My name is Joe XO. I'm a poet from Cocoa Beach. I've been writing poetic things for maybe 15 years, since sometime in high school. I took a class that was supposed to be about poetry that ended up being just a study of long-winded literature that I didn't much enjoy. So I spent a lot of my time kind of freely researching poetry technique, and I've been performing for the better part of 7 or 8 years now, and I got into that through a group called To Write Love on Our Arms that was housing an open mic in Melbourne, Florida. I really enjoy speaking for nonprofit groups. I've done work with To Write Love on Our Arms. I've done work with a group called Take Back the Night that deals with domestic abuse. Just a lot of uplifting things that deal with providing help and promoting hope for people who need it. Anything from that to, I enjoy the competitive side of slam poetry and the idea of condensing something down into 3 minutes to tell a story and create an emotion with a time limit and judge as an audience as well. I think I grew up with a lot of background in movies and things and didn't read a whole lot until I was in high school. And one of my favorite books is The Count of Monte Cristo. I think I probably read that more than any other book, and there's just something very poetic about the revenge that this one guy gets on like everybody who screwed him over. It's probably my favorite book as far as poetry. Wasn't exposed to a lot of great stuff in high school, but classical things or contemporary classics like Robert Frost. Getting into slam poetry, I watched a lot of YouTube stuff. From 18 to 20 when I was in college, Anise Masjani and Taylor Molly, and a lot of the people that, I guess they're kind of like buzzwords in the slam poetry community now. They're people that you hear a lot about. But even from there, a lot of the people that I enjoy watching now are people who are in the college scene of slam poetry and Cupsy, and people who are not yet hugely sensational but have millions of views on YouTube and elicit an extreme range of emotion from people. Poetry that I enjoy writing, reading, and performing has a lot to do with metaphor in making you believe one thing while discussing another topic. And I think magic tries to do something very similar in showing you something that you believe to be true, but then having a turn some point in the performance. And I think that is something that speaks to me when I think about how magic and poetry can work together to tell a story. Well, I do have a Facebook for my writing, not just necessarily poetic stuff, but mostly Joe space XO. You can find me on Instagram. It's not necessarily so poetic, but every now and then I find something to take a good picture of. And just, I have a blog or whatever you want to call it. I have a Tumblr account. Pretty much any kind of social media. It's JTD Snyder, SNYDER. And yeah, jtdsnyder.tumblr.com, Joe XO on Facebook, and some combination of that on Instagram. I'm Joe XO, and you're watching Conjurers of Composition. You can find us on Twitter @MagicPoets.